Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kovu and I play games. I have been away from Disco Elysium for a little bit, but let's continue with our mystery. I had some technical issues. I had to figure out why this game was absolutely just draining my PC of battery, and I think I figured it out. So, without further ado, let's continue Disco Elysium Part 4. I don't really remember where we left off, or where I left off. I remember talking to the cafe manager here, getting some more information from him, and we found out that the diner, I believe, opens at 1 p.m. So we can come back then to do some investigating in the diner. Oh wait, no! I remember what I was going to do now. I remember I was going to go check my room again to see if my badge was there, because I am missing my badge. And I remember also you can double click to run. Let's see.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
No, I don't want to go to sleep. I just wanted to look and see if I can find my badge anywhere.
Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all, the man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor. Where unidentifiable sludge makes it hard for him to breathe. Smells of vomit in here.
Apologize for it, man. You did it.
No problem, officer.
Okay. I don't think my keys are in here. Not keys, my badge is in here. Okay. Murder happened 7 days ago. I've been here drunk apparently for 3 days. I kind of want to bring wheelchair woman with me, honestly. Oh, I can inspect this now. Interesting.
The tracks are as they have ever been. A bit more worn, perhaps. Fortunately, the street sweeper still has...
Oh, I've already done that. Interesting. Where else could I possibly go? I feel like I have to be missing something here. Let's check our notepad here. Oh, the one union guy. I forgot. I did not talk to him. I didn't talk to the one union guy over here. Let's do that. Actually, let's talk to this guy too.
Welcome to Rivachol.
His name is literally Racist Lorry Driver. Okay. Okay.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in this city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. It's not like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of
Kim's a nice dude.
limbo.
We got Kim's back, bro.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain self-determination.
He's right. No racism.
Come on, man. I just said, welcome to Rivachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
Alright, if he's saying it's a lorry driver.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense.
Okay.
Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Got his back. No, I've got his back.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Whatever you say, officers.
He smells of heavy motor oils and his breath of high tar content cigarettes.
What are you
Probably
hauling?
Astra Whites.
Yeah.
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
How long has this been going on?
The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month. 2 months, maybe.
So he's been there for
But
2
this
months?
here
Come
is
on.
just the last week or so.
What kind of cargo are you supposed to be
Apples.
picking up? Apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Apples.
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
What was that argument?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not
Please
the
explain.
most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Oh, so you're just a racist.
I'm
Makes
not
sense.
just racist. Look, I've read books. The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it.
That's interesting.
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. Oh? Don't push your luck, runt.
Can't say that I'm superior and then call me a runt. Not down for the racism, my guy. I'm sorry. Oh. Dozens of roses. Is there any money in here?
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
No. You need tear to use the tear machine.
Okay. Let's talk to this lady. She seems nice.
Welcome
And
to
not
Fritz.
racist.
Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
What's that magazine she's reading?
What magazine
mean
are you
this?
reading? Yes.
This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
Interesting.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
What's this fashion police feature?
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish.
Interesting. So who's number one?
No, I don't think so.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Let's proceed.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but
Can you tell me anything about the
I
dead?
don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so
How long has it been?
I don't know really long.
Do you know?
Not really.
Not really.
No. I didn't know him at all.
What do you think?
I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear anything, let us know, okay?
Please.
Okay.
Thank you for your...
Uh-huh.
Let's leave. Let's leave here. Okay, this is the guy that we're going to talk to.
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
What is a scab?
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
Where do they all come from?
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think.
You don't seem to
Gotta
like...
be bloody stupid or freaking evil to scab. Or I guess scared, maybe. But scared of what? Of who? Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
If you try talking
We'd explain the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
Big guy. He means the leader of the scabs.
Not a scab, my cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, "Let us cop for less money."
Dumb.
Psst. Show him your stolen card. Now has arrived the perfect moment.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
Should I show him this card?
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's all so simple, why don't the strikebreakers just go up the stairs?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini Supremus is there. Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike too. Just can't break the command structure and tell you now.
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged there. The swallow returns.
Always glad to
Appreciate
help
it.
out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. Things are meager at the moment due to... You know, the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing, though.
Every little bit
I'm
helps.
always glad to help out when possible. Not like these
This
little
guy is
scabs.
actually very nice, which I don't know if I should trust it or not.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. That's okay. I have no idea what I'm doing either. I don't even know what day it is. Don't tell me. Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Murder, huh? That sounds like... I don't believe you. Post-11, it wasn't. I'm doing much better here at the harbor. Being an honest union man with a lot of free time on his hands.
I'm not gonna walk past him, but I'll walk up to him. What's up, Measurehead?
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. Yes, Al-Ghul.
He means alcohol.
I doubt it, my microcephalic race servant. No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Begging for help. Attempting to pass fear for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness.
He threw out
frivolous
so
pop
many
culture.
cultures just now. Races.
You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Can I just walk past him? You know what? YOLO. Let's just walk past him and see what actually happens here. Oh, he's not gonna let me go past.
Last we saw, your race was being superseded by the Seminese. It is my task to keep the degenerate drunks from entering the harbor. Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history. Bring your troops to the Seminan. The walls will be...
Oh my
There
gosh,
may
bro.
be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own. The best idea.
I'm not gonna go physical.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you. He lets out an audible sigh.
You are obviously a liberal, Sayolite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. and the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course.
Alright, I don't want to worry about the racism.
Genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parade. You know them by the names of their nation states.
Mahun is a derogative term for first world people of Gotvaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant. You're welcome.
The Maun are
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have type A race propensities. The other large mondial civilization, the Mesk, overproduction of sebum, as proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the indigenous people of this, the Areopagites are the master, the Areopagites are the latter is perfected and adapt. You need to know both types A and
Yeah, you have to have.
type B.
The Khoikos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al.
Yes, pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through the Khoiko, the countless
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are microscopic. Its leaders will be the genetic Revacholians, halfway between
I'm not reading all this.
82,000 years that we've been recording history. You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are the revolution enough of tips. The F are a museum of failed chimeric lesser races like the Mesquite.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
You are right. You have misunderstood. Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Sim? That is understandable. Were they more fortunate, you understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. You need to internalize what you have heard here today. Then I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. Your love racists.
Welcome to Revachol. He must think redheads are immigrants.
I am not like them.
The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. What?
The size of the earlobe.
Your earlobes are.
Yes. You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia. You do not wish to be judged, because you are a genetic blob of polycultural deformity.
The man looks...
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma. Mr. Claire is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront international capital, jam, individualism. Of course, I am not surprised you enjoy it so much.
Measurehead stoically looks to the distance. Inside.
Okay. I'm getting nothing. And I'm getting nowhere with the racist people.
Yes?
Let's leave Kim alone. I want to show the dude my ID, but also I don't. I don't think this was open last time I was here. It's almost 1, which
A
means...
lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia. The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels.
Interesting.
A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crowned with wavy rays. It is a seal of Royalist era Revachol. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The title reads, Man from Eamdal in the Lost City of the Pygmies.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town.
He
This
belongs
is
to
our
the tough guy.
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over.
Let's go. Let's go to the, what you call it? Guy told me that the, cafeteria, I don't know, I couldn't think of the word, would be open now. It is.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook.
Okay.
As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Quebec. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Quebec. Please, it's not funny. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Yeah, so the cook doesn't speak English. I wonder if Kim can understand what he's saying.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Eccentric. But okay, I suppose we could look into it. As a side investigation.
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The door does not budge.
No, we're gonna go through everything.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frick warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found... Yes? Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
Facts.
Your body is ready, sire.
Okay. Can I equip the crowbar? Sure. I can. Okay, I wonder if equipping different things actually gives me different options of things I can do now.
You see, the cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. For it leads to a side building.
Doesn't let me do that. I'm curious if I need like certain people with me in order to do certain things or not. I don't know. But I do need to actually take a quick pause here. Okay, and we're back. I take a quick pause, handle some stuff, but I am back now. What's in this trash can? Did I already check that? I did not. Oh, so tear or tare, whatever it is actually just trash.
This Post Lavatorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front. A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102, with a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant. The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mailbox does not know how to man up. It is an inanimate object.
I love that. Alright, let's see. I haven't gone to this apartment building yet. Let's do this. Seems to be locked. Never mind. What is this? I'm gonna go in and talk to your mother.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor.
Makes me
One
sad.
has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
How does she know as a police officer? I didn't say that.
Certainly there are good things to be said about dependence.
I kind of go number 2.
Now, hey there. Sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility for the energy they bring into this space. Tribute, power. These are not the traditions we're used to in this part of the world.
Okay, so
I
you...
am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture. Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of
Wonderful.
course.
Did you talk to her?
Not really.
Why not? Was she not friendly enough? Were you not compelled to talk to her? Sir, watch the language. My child would never do such a thing. As a young girl should be, with the proper attitude, she'll have a bright financial future.
This lady's kind of rude.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now...
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves...
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
Oh yes, how's my precious doing? She's a good girl, as a young girl should be.
The woman before you scans... You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges. Inhabitants of Île de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time.
Nothing! Why aren't you browsing the books? Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? You ought to.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books.
That's
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
I'll ignore the curtains for now. So I'm gonna cause any problems. Let's look at some books.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do. Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf? You see, Dick Mullen on the job. Get me Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. The final case of Dick Mullen. An owner. Turns out he fated to solve a case. Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels.
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
That's a lie.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. These three things are very important to the working class mind. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. Various paranatural books still litter the shelf.
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Interesting.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinaise. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, La Jade Coudon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then, it's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is, north of Jamrock. The strip of this large map displays archipelago Ozon, Laurentide, fast disintegrating into mathematics. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou in a bookstore. It's you. You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelaire, and Vilmandu, on archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Semenine. 850 million people live. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars. Gods. Perhaps they are gods. Gods of It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor. Even the whirling in rags there. The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games.
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda. Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children. Don't be so hard on yourself, sir. You just need to clean up a bit. And technically, friends are a bit like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real. Lousy auras there. No, I've heard they turn people into...
An endless variety of... There's also books in a board game section. Who wants to read books? There's a box that says Wirral 3rd edition mega setting supplements module. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition mega setting supplement. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks.
Oh, Man from Hyandal. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books. Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. What does it matter? They're all the same. However, the customer is always right, they say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyandalaman, the Man from Hyandal. It's supposed to be a good...
Rows and rows of Hyandalaman, maybe 100. Not even close. Man from Hyandal in hell. Man from Hyandal and the forest.
I think I've done as much as I can do here. Except for this curtain.
The curtains tattered with...
I'll come back. I'll come back. I just want to get rid of these. Whoa. This is the first blue object I've ever seen.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Hey, what's that noise down there?
trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Apparently, she doesn't like people standing behind her back. Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Pigs come to take me out, trying to snuff me out. Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all. Trying to sneak up on me again.
Yeah, you better keep walking.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
Beaton, my maiden name.
Nice.
I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Okay. Tell me about the Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
What do they
The Pines'
do?
core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. 20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility. They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen. Everything, right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
She's the person that we're looking for here. She's the union negotiator. Okay.
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I got a phone call, but I'm back. All right, here we go. Okay, we're talking about the negotiations and what happened to Gaumont. Scabs tickets. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
No, I mean scabs. Let's call them strike breakers. You put them there?
If these strike breakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
Okay.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Alright, tell me about your union boss then.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
I like this lady.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Is he that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are
Yes,
two of them.
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, Detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
They do sound like a leech.
Indeed, and a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Interesting.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter.
Interesting.
The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help?
Looking to make a lynching.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
It's possible I think life drinking, I lost all memory of my life in this world.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
Yeah.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Okay, we need to really get our badge
She's
back.
a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Let's not do that.
Of course.
I'll find it.
But before we do, officers, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us. Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I am enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? I mean, we are on Le Caillou, are we not?
Technically, The neighboring Ozone and Fas Alamir island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago.
Okay, if you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
Interesting.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich. Why what? Stop thinking. Take her down. Have it your way.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act. A law...
Good. Of course, Detective. Take...
Okay, we'll talk to her later when I have my badge. Why would you let me get a crowbar but not let me use the crowbar?
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Any more strangers?
Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom sweeping across the concrete floor.
Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door.
Backyard door? There must be another entrance to the east.
Hey! Up here, Pigger. The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. Ask away, pigman, but I don't promise to answer.
A brush, an artist. The red splatter is urban expressionism. The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief. Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features.
Interesting.
The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Mean choice?
On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world.
Wow, the negativity.
Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honor?
What are you doing
Can't
today?
you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cats. And my name's not Mona, so... Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She means the opposite.
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Interesting.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
The lieutenant is desperately hatred. The woman on the
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first name basis, Pig's not half as dumb as he looks. Can't you tell? I'm painting a I haven't really started it yet. This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation. Yeah? Lying is cool, I guess. Watch your back, ungulate. You...
That was interesting. She seemed kind of sad that I lied to her. Oh, this is the... okay. Let's see if we can open this.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open.
Nice.
Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Open the lid.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Search the food waste.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly. Unidentified sludge and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, what's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Oh.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form.
What?
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
I'm trying not to talk about it right now, because I can't accuse anybody, but I also don't know how it ended up in here. I'll go with the second answer.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know either. You should take stock of your notes. Make sure it's all there. Official notes contain informants' names. If some have fallen into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, bloodletting may well ensue.
Okay.
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
Oh, my inventory. I can't open my inventory right now because I'm going to look through everything.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. You're used to this. No, searching for evidence in the trash.
Dive further.
A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below, and turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Look at the rats.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay.
Who took off his pants?
Drop them in here, officer. Guitar mark blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Reach for it.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
Bag the
This
shirt.
is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of ribbed-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
Okay.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
I'm getting that mug, too.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. Only in its social sensibility.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Okay, let's see what we got. Interactable items. This is a ledger you found in the trash. It's full of notes written in a man's dense cursive. And a closer look, maybe we could salvage start keeping notes in the case. Okay, yeah. How do I interact with it, though? It says use the interact button in my inventory to interact with it.
It's just a
there we go.
racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage? So again, you dug it out of the trash. Why? It wasn't going to offend anyone there. Why?
Do want to interact with this though.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Oh gosh.
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Thank you, waterlogged ledger, for spelling it out for us. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
So I have 30 cases that I have not completed.
It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. What do you mean? Is that all?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. Two? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Like a fan of girls, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more.
Where's my name?
It appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more light-hearted. The guy's on a couch in an unexpected location, and it's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them, up close.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Okay.
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event. The ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do, barely. But the lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
Can I have one?
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
Yes, we will.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry, and it feels good. Feels like completion.
Love it.
Things to be done and things already done. The composite.
No, actually. Any ideas?
I don't want to name this one.
Oh, well, then maybe I can suggest one.
Go ahead.
The Hanged Man.
Solid name.
Thank you. I think so too. Good and normal. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.